Part 1. Bring Your Worth. Everything is a partnership. The artist is afraid of finding out who she is. This fear, I suspect, is more about finding we are greater than we think than discovering that we are lesser. What if, God help us, we actually have talent? What if we truly do possess a gift? What will we do then? Stephen Pressfield, The Artist's Journey. There's confusion to valuing our own worth. No, it isn't just a job. The sensitives got it right. Your work isn't just an exchange of goods for services. It is a representation of yourself to the world. Aside from neighbors, friends, and loved ones, no one knows you beyond what you put out into the world, and more importantly, what impact you leave behind after you go. The demand for your stuff reflects what you are contributing to the conversation and how much you're committing to your unique perspective. It doesn't make sense to go after something just because it is the new hot thing. The trouble with trends is that other people spot them too, with the same intention of riding the wave. Everyone else recognizes what is the hot thing, and unless that hot thing matches your voice, which, if you're lucky, happens once or twice within a lifetime, then you strip away any original proposition you have. When a trend does match your unique intention, though, then you can drive the market. The goal, then, is to stay committed to what you know is important. Not think, but know. It is what Brene Brown means when she says, braving the wilderness. It is lonely, and it has to be, because being your original self means having no duplicate. The wilderness can be strictly psychological, watching the rejection letters pour in day after day for your ideal project, and having the wherewithal to keep going. Or it could be financial, pouring your hard-earned pay gained from another, less exciting path into something you know is your next calling. Most of all, this knowledge stays silent. It may even be painfully quiet. And no matter how much you shout, no one will be able to understand you, as if you were speaking Greek on the Roman Isles. This is how it should be. Hearing the thumbs up, the nod, or the go-ahead from anyone is a false positive, particularly from people in control of the market. The voice you begin hearing becomes theirs, not your own, and it's painfully easy to catch amnesia and start forging a path for them instead of a path for yourself. It can be a cruel fate. I've seen it. Brilliant, driven creators, machete in hand, swatting through the proverbial Amazon to the sound of their calling, and, in a glimmer, they are just as passionately going another direction, listening to a gatekeeper's faint promise of security, fame, or money. I know I have succumbed to that siren call myself. Know this, gatekeepers themselves don't have security. Gatekeepers don't have the power anymore. They are our partners, your partners, as they should have been all along. The insight garnered from so-called gatekeepers is inversely proportional to the power of technology, which means the vision of, say, a publishing house in the 1960s would have compared to a new author will be much, much further than the same house would have today. We are reaching an inflection point where things are so inversely proportional, creators have a greater vision than those up on high. We're the ones in the front lines. We're the ones connecting with our audiences. We're the ones with the social media followings, the DIY opportunities, and the ability to continually iterate our ideas based on instant feedback. We don't need them. They need us. A large city is today's default setting. Entrepreneur Jason Fried reads the news in the newspaper once a day, saying it's a perfect delivery vehicle, as the things that are most important are curated and mentioned and stick around for the following day. It avoids the hyperbole of things seeming important at the moment, and everything can't be important at the moment, for at that point, then nothing can truly be important at that moment. It is why we suddenly regain balance when we are with very young people or with kind animals, as they are truly of the moment, not of the overstimulated moment, but of the hyper-aware moment. All that matters is now. It is instinctual for them, as they haven't learned to see otherwise, to be concerned with tomorrow, and to regret what was done yesterday like an infinity loop. Therapist Esther Perel's family and other European Jews survived World War II. Yes, Perel says most every individual was either disillusioned for the rest of their lives, which she calls joining the walking dead, or focused on making and enjoying every day to the fullest. They had to choose. It is why New Yorkers found clarity in the weeks following 9/11. Traumatic events propel us into hyper-awareness. They remind us that we have to choose every day, because that choice is almost taken away from us. You never know what is at stake. It is more than today's intern can become your manager in the future. It is more of your intention. The small act magnifies, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. From the universe, sure, you are spiritually showing that you can handle something bigger. That's not the point. The point is the muscle memory, the knee-jerk reaction you train yourself to have in a situation when the risk was more minimal. Archilochus said in moments in trouble, we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. Picture scaffolding, but instead of from the inside out, picture it going from the outside in. It is our bones, our literal integrity, which difficult times test and fortify. Without challenging ourselves, we do not know if the values we create are really what we believe. The universe, which really means you, since you are one with the world, does not create struggle to punish you, but to reconfirm what you actually believe. The confidence to know what you believe isn't complete until you're given ample opportunity to disregard it. The advocates will come, but first you need to start. You want your purpose to be as transparent as a drop of water. Only take a sip and you are completely understood. You don't need anything deep or heavy, any dramatic pronouncements, anything like that. Marcus Aurelius said that your truth should be clear as soon as you step into a room, like a smelly goat. That strength is undeniable by the many, even by your detractors, and it is unattainable by the masses, even by the envious. It is pure and unyielding. Once you uncover it, then it can no longer remain buried. This is a gift and a curse, as you cannot unknow it either, and you will have to do something with it for the rest of your life. Other people will recognize it too, and those who care about you will dog you to fulfill it, while even those who just met you will know when you are in alignment with it. They will see it in your eyes. Do you ever look at someone and know they are living their truth? It could be ugly, it could be disagreeable, but it always means something higher than just muddling through life. They light up. It is undeniable. It is understood without saying a word. Words exist, but putting them in a certain order and particular cadence changes the culture. Only a few musical notes exist, and yet, in the right hands, your hands, they number plenty to make a dent in the universe. Your work has value. The rub is that your work may not be tangible. That is, the world at large doesn't see your tangible work. A financial broker makes money moving money around, putting her in the same capacity as a three-card money hustler on the boardwalk. And yet, becoming a CPA may be more celebrated than becoming a poet because the path is clear. It is safe. Get closer to your creative truth, though, and you get further from safety. You were never meant to leave the world the same way as you came into it. You know it. That's why it hurts. Taking a leap rarely hurts, even when you fail. The pain arises from the separation between who you are being and who you really are. Bonding with your truth is inversely proportional to clinging to your safety. This value question isn't just yours, though, but everyone else's too. Being closer to your truth makes you shine, and when others connect with you, they recognize their own gap between being and self. They feel your power. It triggers their own choices between safety and truth. They have to raise their own awareness, stop interacting with you anymore, or remind you of the futility of your path. Or they could do all three. Responses always reflect other people's view of their worth. Always. This is why bringing your worth is essential to any relationship. Whether invoicing a client, or pitching an idea, or launching a service, or explaining what you do at a cocktail party. Every interaction is a building block, and either you're adding or subtracting to this foundation to get closer to your true self, and therefore your true worth. I have done lateral moves, and even some steps back, and they serve as reminders for what I am not. As many wise people have said, setbacks are not failures, but information, data on which you are not, figures showing you the real path, live feedback on your pain points. The times when you undervalue yourself and actually get what you asked for are just as valuable as the times when you're able to reflect your true worth. It all depends on what you do with the insight. Your longing for success creates enough fuel to draw in the right clients, build the best career, and create a higher opportunity for you. Drop the dialogue on crushing the competition, because when you're in tune with your own intention, then there is no competition. There doesn't need to be concerns about the timeline, as things jump into place when they line up, not when you hit a time-based milestone. And frustration over your current situation should be acknowledged, but only as a barometer for what you don't want in the future, as your disdain for today will keep you focused only on what you lack now rather than what you desire tomorrow. Be as clear and as transparent and as honest as possible about what you want, regardless of your current moment. As the more visionary you become with your future, the more you will, knowingly and unknowingly, start to build systems to make it real. One of the best ways to make your best work for the world is to create without the intention of shipping, launching, or selling. It doesn't mean working for free. It means working without expectations. Our biggest ideas are as fragile as a Parisian croissant, and the pressure of projected success can make them crumble before we even had the opportunity to see what they will become. They are too abstract to handle the stress test. It is why we should create pilots, just simple, minimal viable products that can get our ideas out. It is why you should do side hustles, fun pursuits we do outside of our 9 to 5 during, as entrepreneur Chase Jarvis says, our 5 to 9. It's why we should build support networks so we know there are other people trying to make something out of nothing. All these solutions have one thing in common. You are sharing and then listening. Pilots give you feedback from the people you want to serve. Side hustles give you feedback from the financial realities of your pursuit. And networks give you the feedback from your peers. Our biggest problems come when we are using our will rather than our intuition, or simply our ears. Do not get a win and attribute it to just your will, as if our anger and our frustration bended the universe to our desires. More often, though, we have our major breakthroughs, our quantum leaps, and our milestone moments when we are on our knees. The darkness before the dawn, the opening right at the nick of time, and so on, are cliches for a reason. It's high drama, sure, and gives us survivors a story to tell, but it also reflects that moment when we are ready to give up, because when we are ready to give up, we are the most open to aligning rather than maligning the future.